Hi everybody, welcome back to the Rebel News channel. Today we're gonna do a few review on the Saberforge Katano. So let's get cracking! Hi everybody, welcome back. So we're gonna take a close-up look on the Saberforge Katano now. I'm just gonna have the specifications of the lightsaber going through the screen. As usual, in one of the corners you will see all the specification in terms of weight, length, features, etc. So you have a better understanding of what this hilt comes with. So let's start off with this top section here. So we have the cover tech wheel in the lower section. So on the bottom section we have the cover tech wheel. In this case it's a black cover tech wheel. It can be a brass colored, it can be silver colored, it can be a weathered cover tech wheel knob as well. It depends on what you like, but in this case it's just pure black because I just like that the best. And then we're gonna just start with the lower section. Go to the pommel. The pommel is actually quite big, and it's in the lower section of the hilt. That's where the most weight is. So in terms of distribution of weight, it's not that balanced. The weight is definitely more in the bottom part. Also because most of the weight of the battery, the battery pack is inside this hard section as well. So that makes it a little bit heavy, but it really feels sturdy. It really feels the appropriate weight for a lightsaber. I felt the other Initiate sabers that I have so far from Saberforge felt a little bit on the lighter side. This one feels right to me in terms of weight, so it just gives that more realistic feeling to a lightsaber. This is more in line with my expectation of an actual lightsaber in terms of weight. Moving along, we go to the bottom section where we have the pommel. The pommel is quite big and it looks really cool. I love how the vented area is for sound. Now please mind, this is a warrior edition, so mine does not come with sound, it's just a stunt saber. But if you put in a 2 watt bass speaker in here, I mean that sound really will pop out of this bottom part of the pommel very nicely. And it looks really cool with the vented holes here being flush with the bottom of the pommel. Most of the weight is in the pommel, the bottom section, because of the battery is housing here as well, and just the bottom section overall because it has some parts, let's say the cover tech wheel and this round circle here. But yeah, it looks really nice, very nice finish on the pommel. As you can see, it's nicely milled. It's just overall a very nice design. And then we just flip it over and we have this decoration knob. It looks a little bit like a cover tech wheel knob, but it's not. It's just a black piece. Now, from my understanding, this should be screwed in with screw wire inside the hilt, or actually in this black part here, which walks all the way here. And this part is basically screw in here. Now, I've seen reviews where this part is actually glued inside that screw hole, because the actual screw wire on the protruding part of this knob is actually smaller in diameter than the hole that was milled inside or drilled inside the bottom section. Now, I'm not sure if that's also applying to mine because it feels sturdy, so it might be glued in, it might be actually screwed in, I don't know, but that's something to keep in mind. And I'm just gonna undo the pommel so you can see how much threading there is. So here we go. I love how the threading is actually flush inside, so you don't actually see any of that. It's quite nice and long threading, as you can see, which is not common on the well, it's also common on the Initiate sabers from Saberforge, I have to say. So that's a good job there, because that means the threading is nice and secure inside the hilt. and we have the inside. Now it's a little bit, the inside is okay, it's a little bit messy. You see some metal parts there, as you can see there. I'm not sure what's that, but yeah, they could clean it up maybe a little bit better. I think that is some debris from residue after the milling job was done. Maybe it comes from inside the hilt, or maybe it's some mini chunks of the, I think it's actually mini chunks of the Velcro tape. It's just getting loose and falling inside the bottom of the pommel. But as you can see, yeah, very nice. It's a very nice milled piece. Nothing wrong there. Nothing out of ordinary. Just a nice solid piece. Single piece I can see so far. Besides this vented piece here, which is an additional piece. So let's see how it looks in the inside. Maybe a little bit hard to see, but we have the battery pack here. I'm gonna take it out slowly, because this is a stunt edition, so if I want to charge the battery I have to take out this piece. So hopefully I don't break any wires here. Definitely a very tight fit. Looks like it's stuck somewhere. It's probably the Velcro. Let me see. Try to keep it in the screen as well. Okay, here we go. I have to just pull it gently out of the pull it gently out of the hilt, and here we go. Okay, this is a standard 18650 3.7 battery. Nothing special. Let's see if I can show you. It looks like the soldering is done quite good. There's, yeah, here we go. So there's a, they put in a shrinky here, so shrink wire to keep those two black and the negative and the positive cables together. So that's nicely done, and this is how it looks from the inside. You have the let me see, I grab a light here. So we have the wires going inside, all the way in there, and you see that little thingy sticking out from the bottom. That's actually the screw wire for the CoverTech knob. So in terms of wiring, you have to be a little bit gentle when you pull it out, because if it's hitting that protruding part of the CoverTech wheel, you might strip the cable, and that might cause some issues with electronics inside, where you have connectivity being made in terms of battery with that CoverTech wheel, and then you might have your LED being flickering on and off from time to time. I don't see any globs of glue in the side. That was a common concern in the past, where they glued the switch button inside the hilt with a big glob of glue, which was then sticking inside the hilt. But I don't see anything like that. It looks very clean and nice. So I'm gonna pop this battery pack nicely back inside his home. So here we go. So the Velcro is nice, keeps everything snug and tight. It's just the Velcro have to pass the screw wire here, and that makes it a little bit trickier to get it in and out. So back in his home, we're gonna close it up, just like so. Okay, here we go. Just do it slowly. Just making sure everything is okay. Yeah, here we go. Oh, a satisfying screw wire there. Nice, done. Let me just check the connect power. Yep, still everything works, so that's good. So yeah, we're going from the control aesthetic looking control box. Moving along, we go to the switch. This is just a standard 12mm latching switch, a clicky switch, so on and off, nicely sunken inside the outer sleeve of the hilt. And then we go to the top section, which is kind of trademark for this particular lightsaber. Katano is that she has two ears on each side. Just of course aesthetic looks, a little bit like the graph legs. And let me see if it's straight. It does look like it has been placed on the saber straightly. Yep. So that's no problem there. There's no damage on the side as well. It's nicely aligned, and I don't see any weird stuff or issues there. It's sturdy on there. Yep, it's sturdy. There's nothing wrong there. And then we go to the other side. Now we're on the top of the emitter section. We have two greeblies here. These are just knobs with screw wire screwed into the inner hilt. So these two are just screwed in. You can take them out. I would love to have seen this one in red though. That would make the saber a little bit more show accurate to the cartoon, the Clone Wars. But okay, I can probably fix that myself. But still, it looks decent enough like this. And then what I really like about this design of this particular lightsaber is the forked section here that goes all the way up. So it starts very deep. So you have a deep, yeah, what is it? Forked hole here of the sleeve, and this whole inner section is just, it looks like, from what I can see so far, it's hard to see though, it looks like it's on one single piece going from top to bottom. And the other side, so on the other side we have two retention screw holes, one for the LED and one for the blade socket. And the blade socket is pretty high, the LED is around here, so expect the blade socket to be around this high, so around 1.5 inch deep, not that deep though. So I think for dueling, maybe not the most ideal dueling saber, because that socket is a little bit high. That means you have more chance that your saber might fly out when you do heavy dueling. But that's my opinion. And then we have the top section where you have the two horns basically, and they look really cool. But one thing I noticed, and it's a little bit hard to show, is the finish on the inside of these sleeves is not done very cleanly. As you can see, it's a little bit dirty. I'm not sure if that's grease, let's say from the machine that they used to grease things up, that's still there, like they didn't clean up the inside properly. But it looks a little bit dirty. You see that? You see that dirty debris there? The other side as well. So let me run my finger through it. It doesn't feel fatty or something, or greasy. No, it doesn't really feel a lot of grease in there, but it doesn't look a little bit dirty. And then the edges here look like razor sharp. That looks potentially hazard for your fingers, so you have to be careful, because this does look pretty sharp. Yeah, this looks pretty sharp. It's not as sharp as a knife, but that looks a little bit not worrying, but something you have to look out for, because that maybe if you have a small kid, you want to give this saber to your kid, you might want to file this down a little bit, because for example this part does feel like pretty sharp here. So yeah, that's something that is a little bit typical to Saberforge, is that sometimes the edges can be quite sharp. So that is something to consider and mind off. But it's of course an easy fix. There's a fix for everything, so you can fix it yourself. But it's just out of the box is something you have to consider and think about. So from this angle you can see the blade block. This is a standard Saberforge blade block. I'm just gonna light it up so you can see with light how it looks like. To show there's no issue, this is the outer sleeve and this is the inner saber itself. There is no rattle, there's no margin, there's no flexibility. It's all nicely clean and tight. Like when I move the saber, there's no rattle, nothing. It's all tight in there. It's very sturdy. It's absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy the saber a lot. I have to say, by far my favorite lightsaber I have so far, so I hope that says something. But yeah, so here you have it, guys. This is the Saberforge Katano from close up. And welcome back. I hope you liked the review. I tried to cover every aspect of this hilt. Just a short and straight to the point verdict. So now I'm gonna do a rating on this saber. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 for aesthetic looks, because it's just simply my favorite hilt. I'm biased, I'm not gonna lie about that. Just straight out of the box I'm gonna say and admit here, I love Ahsoka Tano, I love her hilt, and this is why I give 5 out of 5. Okay, next we're gonna give it a rating for dueling. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. The reason for that is the control box sticks out a little bit. It's quite sharp and it's not very ideal for dueling. It limits a little bit on in terms of gripping area on the hilt itself when you do heavy dueling. The greeblies have a tendency to get loose during dueling, so I don't really like that either. One thing to notice, you can unscrew this screw here, and then you can take out the dummy control box, but then again you have a big gap there, so that defeats a little bit the purpose of having it here. So yeah, for dueling a little bit lower. Also, one thing to notice is these sharp edges here. I don't think that is per se an ideal situation when you duel with somebody else. You might eat up somebody else's blade when you hit each other's blade and just scuff with these sharp edges through his or her blade. So therefore I think for dueling, I don't think this is the most ideal dueling saber, and that same account for spinning. I don't think this is a perfect spinning saber. It's a shelf queen to me. It's a perfect cosplay piece, and I think for those purposes this hilt is ideal. For dueling and for twirling or spinning, I don't think this is the best hilt out there. So that being said, it's still my favorite hilt. I love it to death. I will always play with it. I will never get rid of it because it's just, I just love the Katano hilt. So I hope you liked the video, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Take care and stay scummy!